Good morning. What the heck is the metaverse? Today we're going to be talking about the metaverse, and I'm going to give you 5 tips, 5 ways that you can invest in the metaverse for your future. I've been spending a lot of time kind of investigating what is the next step beyond Web 2.0, watching videos on YouTube or Rumble or one of the other social media platforms. The next step is experiencing visuals, experiencing audio, having the ability to actually own certain things in the digital atmosphere. And to be honest, I'm just so excited by it. I was telling my wife earlier today, I was like, I'm so excited for this presentation because I really want to bring to you kind of the real life, the practical uses for this metaverse. And I think that if you get started in investing, and I don't just mean monetarily, investing your life into portions of the metaverse as it exists now and will grow later on in time, I think you're going to be much better for it. You're going to do better in your life. You're going to be happier. You're going to be able to get more job opportunities. It's just amazing. So what I wanted to do is start off by giving you an example, kind of the answer to the question, what is the metaverse? And I have to say, not the hugest fan of Mark Zuckerberg, but he does a fair job of explaining the metaverse in this video, which came out the last couple of weeks ago. So what I'm gonna do is share the screen right up front here, and I'm gonna play this video for you.
Starting with the most important experience of all, connecting with people. Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually, it has things that are only possible virtually, and it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear.
He looks so awkward in this video.
All right, perfect.
Hey, Mark. Hey, what's going on? Hi. What's up, Mom?
Whoa, we're floating in space? Who made this place? It's awesome.
Right? It's from the crater. I'm in LA.
This place is amazing.
Bob, is that you?
Of course it's me. You know I had to do the robot, man.
I thought I was supposed to be the robot.
Whoa.
I knew you were nothing.
Hey, wait. Where is Naomi?
Let's call her.
No.
Hey, should we deal you in?
Sorry, I'm running late, but you gotta give it checking out. There's an artist going around Soho hiding AR pieces for people to find.
3D street art. That's cool.
Send that link to us so we can all look at it. This is stunning.
It's awesome.
I love the movement.
Wait, it's disappeared.
This is amazing. Hold on. I'll tip the artist and they'll extend it. Wow.
All right, so that's what I wanted to show you, just to kind of give you a feel for the future of the metaverse. And, you know, they do it in kind of a cartoon type way, but really what it means to me is the ability to connect with other humans in different locations, different times, in different displays. In other words, different clothing, different ways to look at people in real time, and actually be able to get, not only have fun, like play cards or whatever, but also do business, do work, provide services, provide counseling to people. And so I'm super, super excited about it. I also wanted to show you this one portion of the video that talks about the work. And then let's see if we can push play on this one. Let's put it on the screen here. All right, there we go.
To work in offices have gone remote. And while I miss seeing the people I work with, I think remote work is here to stay for a lot of people. So we're gonna need better tools to work together. Let's take a look at what working in the metaverse will be like. Imagine if you could be in the office without the commute. You would still have that sense of presence, shared physical space. There's a chance of directions that make your day all accessible from anywhere. Now imagine that you have your perfect work setup, and you can actually do more than you could in your regular work setup. And on top of all that, you can keep wearing your favorite sweatpants. And as we focus more on work, and frankly, as we've heard your feedback more broadly, We're working on making it so you can log into Quest with an account other than your personal Facebook.
So that's an example, a little bit of what work will be like in Web 3.0. I heard Mark Zuckerberg interviewed recently where he was talking about the fact that these phones that we have are so limiting. They do not allow us to experience a more fuller and richer life. We're kind of limited to a rectangle screen and where we are, if we have headphones or we don't. They don't allow us to do lots of different things that we could do in real time, which would be looking at your messages, looking at your email, but not needing other devices for this. So anyway, super excited about the metaverse. And I'm super excited also today to talk about what the metaverse means to you. What I also wanted to talk about before we get there is talking about how we got to this place in our world as far as Web 3.0. It's kind of a broad term that's being used to describe three different converging circumstances that have happened in our life. The first one has to do with the fact that now we are much more comfortable with this augmented reality or virtual reality concept. In other words, we've seen it on our phones. We've played Pokemon Go. We've done various different things to understand that, boy, digital life could be fun, could be something we could interact with, and we're getting to the point where we will accept it more in our daily life. The second point is that now we're moving into this world of blockchain, of crypto. And really what I think the most important part of this world is now is that blockchain allows you to indelibly mark ownership over a digital asset. A way that we really couldn't do it before. I was responding to a comment in my community tab recently, and he was saying that the person was saying, NFTs are difficult because, they're not regulated. And I was like, and my response was, well, yes, I know traditional, intellectual property is regulated a little bit, but it's all a passive regulation. What I mean by that is that if someone steals your photograph, well, then you've got to file a lawsuit for copyright infringement. You've got to take action to enforce the laws. What's so wonderful about this world of blockchain now we're seeing is that with smart contracts, rules are automatically enforced. In other words, I own this photograph. No, you don't. It says right here in the sole ledger that you don't own that photograph. I should be paid a commission for this photograph when it's sold down the line. Well, in the smart contract system, you get that commission automatically. So there's a lot of benefits to this blockchain, and people now with crypto and to a certain extent with NFTs are starting to embrace these decentralized networks that give us ownership in the digital atmosphere. And then also the kind of the third factor that's leading us to this metaverse, to this Web 3.0, is that we are becoming much more comfortable and much more enjoying and valuing our digital assets. There's so many of you out there who play video games. I'm thinking of Fortnite. I'm thinking of Roblox. I'm thinking about all these different video games that have digital in-game items. And people are beginning to really value that part of their life. They're like, boy, I have the special Warhammer, or I have lots of health packs or whatever. Now, that's small these days. We're just talking about video games. But what's really happening is that through Facebook, through Instagram, certainly through YouTube, people are valuing their digital lives, sometimes more so than their real lives. And I think that the future is going to show us that a lot of us, we have a lot of benefits. We maybe have some money in our pocket. We have a good job. We're able to eat on a day-to-day basis. And we don't have a society that's just jamming down our throats rules. We have more of a free society. You could argue that, and I would argue with you a long way about what's happening to our society. But for the most part, a lot of us have that free society. There's a lot of people out there who don't have that free society. They don't have money in their pocket. And going into these digital worlds is going to be extremely exciting for them. Give them a leg up on the competition. Use their certain skills, whether it be at home or at the office or whatever, to be able to contribute to this digital metaverse. So I do think that these three factors, whether it be AR and VR acceptance, whether it be usage and, really valuing the crypto and the blockchain, and the fact that, we've had a pandemic, we've had various things that have caused us to kind of be focused digitally and then start valuing our digital lives. This is creating this metaverse world, which we've seen in that video with Mark Zuckerberg. So that's why it's important. I think the thing that you should take in right now is the metaverse is here and it's not going to change. All right. I did a post recently about MIA, who's a rapper, great rapper. And she just recently released her newest single via NFT, and she auctioned it off. Now, I think it was for charity. So it was a good purpose there. But we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more collector's items. We're going to see more digital ownership out there. I did a live recently talking about Pulp Fiction recently. Quentin Tarantino released NFTs, various scenes that are exclusive. You can get it, you can own, you can be a fan, you can be part of a community. One of the things to understand about this crypto community or the NFT community, that which you may not know, is that a lot of times when you buy one of these digital pieces of art or music, that is your entrance into another community. With respect to the Bored Apes Yacht Club, that when you own one of those digital pieces of art, you are also in this yacht club, and you can, I think they have their own Discord server, and you can speak to these people on a day-to-day basis and talk about the Bored Apes or talk about anything else you want. So this digital art, digital music is not only just, oh, that's cool, you have a picture of a bald eagle, but it's also your pass into a different community. And with Web 3.0 and the status of our community right now, we're starting to see more and more fragmented communities. You could argue that's bad, but you could see, maybe Web 2.0 allowed us to have this global perspective, to see the world from our laptop. But with Web 3.0, what we're moving into now, it's more and more separate communities. And that is going to be something that we're going to see no matter what you do. So what I'm talking about right now is the metaverse is here. You've got to invest, whether it be monetarily or whether it be spend some time researching. I'm going to help you through the process. My goal is to really figure this thing out and bring kind of just the raw takes that you need to understand. But I think it's really going to happen. I think it's really, really going to happen. So let's do this thing. All right, let's move on to my slides for today. And let me get those on the screen here. Stop screen, share screen. All right. All right. Is this on our thing? Okay, there we go. Let's do this. So wait, it's really bright right now. Let's see if I can move that down. I want to give you top 5 tips for investing in the metaverse. Really, whether it be your financial resources or whether it be you investing your knowledge. The first one is, and it has the most risk, but it also has the most upside, is to get out there and look at NFT projects, whether they be digital art, whether they be books, whether they be your favorite music artist, whatever it is. Look into those NFT projects, and I'm going to give you an example of that. So let's see. Let's move on. Let me share the screen again here. Stop screen. Share. All right. So I'm going to use Rarity Tools. I don't know if you've seen this before. But Rarity Tools is the website that I use to analyze upcoming NFT projects. And I'm going to do a whole video on actually how you find the right ones so you can invest and actually make money. But what this says right here are the upcoming NFT projects for November of 2021. And we have I think it's the Doge Fight Club, actually. I think it's modeled after Dogecoin coming up. And we also have Dragonverse, which is well sought after. And then we have Moondosa, Angel's Oasis, and Tasty Toasties. We'll just look at those for right now. So what I'm doing is when I'm looking for investments in NFTs, the first thing that I'm doing is, first of all, I'm analyzing on the internet. I'm looking, okay, the Doge Fight Club, is that a thing? So I'll search that out on a Google search, and then I'll come to rarity.tools, and I will look, let's see, I'll first look at the Twitter page. And can you see that right now? Can you see the Twitter page? Oh, you can't see the Twitter page. Let's see. I'll tell you, a lot of sharing the screen today. Chrome tab, There we go. Then we look at the Twitter page right here, and we see Doge Fight Club. We look down here, we have 358 following, and it has 2,586 followers. Well, Doge Fight Club could very well be an amazing NFT to invest in. I will say this, though. It has a smaller following. And smaller following doesn't always mean that it's not a good investment for NFTs, but it can mean that. And so that's something to consider. What I'll do at this point is I'll go through the comments and I'll look and see if that's something that I want to be involved in, if the comments are good, if there's a roadmap coming up. In other words, they have a plan for their Doge NFTs in the future. And then let's go to the next page here. Stop screen there, and then we'll do it again. We'll go over to Rarity Tools again. Let's look at that. So that's an example. What I'll do then is I'll go to the Discord server. I won't do that now because there's a lot of screen switching here, but I'll go to the Discord server and I'll see the members. I'll look at the comments and I'll be able to analyze whether or not that's something I want to invest in. So that is the top way, and actually the most risky way of investing yourself in the metaverse, is to get involved in NFTs. And they could be any kind of NFTs. They can be music NFTs. There's lots of blog type NFTs. There's lots of things coming out, and it's really exciting to see. A lot of these NFTs are not just static pictures. There's things that change over time. So if you do that kind of basic analysis and do your research, you can find NFTs you can invest in that will be worth something later on in time. So that is going to be my first way that you will invest in the metaverse. Now let's stop that one. Let's go to the second tip here. Let's go right here. And this group here. So the second tip is to buy the target NFT. Now, when you buy this NFT, it's something that you do most of the time to hold. It's not something that you want to flip. There's also an understanding, and I kind of skipped by this. Let me go over to the Metaverse investment here. I'll go share screen, and I'll show you this one too. Here we go. So this will show you the top metaverse coins by market capitalization. By the way, I'm looking at CoinGecko.com, and this will show you tokens. As you probably know, when you get into the world of NFTs, there's two different components. There's the actual token that sits on the blockchain, and then there's the digital asset. You can look at the top coins or tokens by going to CoinGecko. I typed in Metaverse as a filter, and that shows me all the different projects that are existing out there right now in the Metaverse, of which I can own their tokens. So, you know, a good example might be with Ethereum. If you're familiar with the Ethereum network, you know, there's definitely an Ethereum token, which is something that a lot of people are investing on, that's going up in value right now. But there's also an Ethereum network, which software can sit on top of, and you can use it as a decentralized autonomous organization, a community within Ethereum. That is where a lot of the NFTs these days are on. Most of them, or at least a lot of them, are on the Ethereum network. So what I'm trying to say is the second tip has to do with the fact that you can not only buy the NFT, but you can also buy the tokens. A lot of times you're set into, you like the community that the NFT is within. And so you want to get access to that token. It's not just the investment in, let's say you're talking about Decentraland and you're buying digital land. It's also you're buying the token that Decentraland uses, because that could go up in value too. So there's a lot of people out there who says, I'm not going to buy the land. I'm not going to buy the digital art piece. I'm going to buy the token that is being used to purchase that land or that digital art piece. It can be kind of confusing. All right, so that's the second tip. Now let's do the third. Stop this one, and we'll share this one. And that's here, and that's right. So that's actually the third tip. Kind of, I bled it into the second, which is buy the project tokens. The fourth tip is invest in the crypto of the project. So that's what I talked about. This is all kind of, you know, to put together. You know, a lot of times NFTs are on the Ethereum network, and so what you might want to do is not only invest in the token that you use to purchase the NFT, but you also have to invest in the underlying digital currency, the crypto that is on that blockchain. So in this case, if we're talking about Ethereum, that would be the Ethereum coin. And on Ethereum are various NFT projects, and within those projects are tokens that you can invest to buy various NFTs. So a little confusing, but the point of it is buying an NFT, buying the tokens that buy the NFT, buying the digital currency that is on the blockchain, all are investments into this metaverse, which is here and is going to get nothing but larger. So let's move on to the next point here. Share the screen. And that is the final way that I've put together for investing in the metaverse is actually going to the companies, researching the companies. Obviously, Facebook, or Meta, as it's called now, is one of them. But finding the companies that are investing their resources, their time in creating this metaverse. The thought is that in the future, and it's kind of disturbing a little bit, but in the future, it costs so much money to develop these metaverses. As you've seen in that Facebook video that we watched in the beginning of the program, there's so much programming involved. There's so much new hardware that needs to be involved. And so we were thinking that a lot of the big companies now with the billions of dollars are going to be the people that invest in this metaverse. They're going to be the ones that have the money to build that. So your goal would be to invest in those companies. Now, what was interesting about when Facebook announced their name change to Meta was everyone was thinking, oh my gosh, their stock is going to go down in price. They're running away from the Facebook name. They're afraid they're going to get regulated. They're going to get broken up. And so that was the conventional wisdom. But I don't know if you noticed, but the day of the announcement and thereafter, Facebook stock actually went straight up. And that was because the smart people were understanding, oh, Facebook is going to invest $10 billion this year to begin this creation of this metaverse. So a lot of the smart investors were actually putting money in Facebook, thinking that they were going to take advantage of the public sentiment that Facebook wasn't doing well. So that's the other way, or that's the fifth way for you to invest in this metaverse. Buy NFTs, buy tokens that buy NFTs, buy the currency of the blockchain on which the NFTs are on, then invest in companies that are creating this metaverse, because this is the future. It's not going to change. And then I have a little bit of a bonus tip for you here, which is, see right here, right there in the exchange. So this is my bonus tip. Right now, I think Coinbase is the only publicly traded crypto exchange. But in the future, eToro and some of the other exchanges, Bittrex, are going to be probably publicly traded companies. And what is one of the biggest loggernecks, or one of the biggest problems we have now in the crypto NFT space is that we have a hard time getting our normal money, whether it be euros or US dollars or whatever, into this space. And these exchanges are acting as our gatekeepers to getting our normal money into the digital space. So when more and more people acknowledge that metaverse is here to stay, when more and more people start investing in metaverse, whether it be NFTs, whether it be the tokens, whether it be more crypto, as that happens, more and more normal money is going to have to get into the system. And right now, our structure in the world is not well built enough to allow that money to flow in. And so right now, there's just certain gatekeepers that transfer, let's say, US dollars into crypto. And one of them is Coinbase, which you can invest in right now on the stock exchange. And in the near future, there will be others. Look out for these exchanges that are going to be going public. That's another way that you can invest in the metaverse, because it's like buying shovels at the gold rush. They needed shovels, regardless if they're going to find gold, regardless if you're going to find gold, they needed shovels to get there. If we're going to the metaverse, we're going to use decentralized currency or some variation of that. We're going to enjoy being in this digital sphere. We're going to need a way to get there. And the way to get there, at least for right now, are these exchanges. And when they become public, you can invest in them. So that's another way for you to invest in this metaverse. I just want to take a moment to say hi to some people who are joining us today. We have Kim Leeming is here. Good to see you, Kim. We also have Tibetan songs. We have Christian Woodland. Hi, I'm getting echo when you play your videos. Anyone else? Oh, okay. We'll have to check that out. Lots of echoes. I'll have to check that one out. Let's see. Christian Woodland says, I'm excited for this metaverse thing. It's been around in different forms for years. It is Internet 3.0, which I agree. With the global Starlink internet, it'll be part of it. I agree. Christian, you're smart. You're smart to acknowledge that it is here to stay, because I know it is. We got Simple Rick. Oh, he has some Hunter Biden comments. Okay. Let's see. Christian Woodland was saying taxation has already been introduced for NFTs, so watch out for that. Yeah, I'm going to be coming up and making a video about capital gains on NFTs. What is the current law? What do you need to be aware of for the future? We certainly have seen it in the crypto sphere. For as far as I understand it, there are forms on IRS tax forms that you have to complete when you've sold crypto and made a profit, and so you have capital gains to pay. Right now, it's unclear in the NFT area if you've bought a crypto for $1,500 and you sold it for $3,000, if there's some capital gain that's owed on that. So absolutely. Final touch is here. Amazing video. Thank you very much. All right. We got Stock Explorer. This is such an exciting topic. It's so exciting for me too. I'm just, when it all kind of came together for me, and that was understanding that we're accepting VR, we're accepting crypto, we're valuing our digital lives. I was like, oh my gosh, what have I been doing? This is amazing. They jump right in head first. So I've been really liking it. Stock, hit like free, and thank you, Stock Explorer. Appreciate it. And Hell Rio's here. Arriving late again. I'm gonna need to go back to the beginning. Well, that's fine, Hell Rio, no problem. I'm excited that you're here right now. So that's what we're talking about. Those are the 5 ways that you can invest in the metaverse right now. I'm kind of excited because what I'm going to be doing in the near future is doing more and more content about kind of being a gatekeeper myself. In other words, really doing the research and explaining what I found so that I can practically tell you what are the ways that you can get involved yourself and really kind of educate people on how valuable this is right now. I know it's at the beginning. I've listened to a bunch of interviews from the people that are leading this charge, and they will admit the system right now is not really that great for Web 3.0, but it is going to happen. There's no way it couldn't. And so we need to start investing our money, our resources right now in this metaverse so that we can take advantage of it in the future. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be great. Someday, I'm going to be able to be making these videos not as like a 2-dimensional person on a video somewhere, on a platform somewhere, but I'm going to be someone who's going to appear in a living room in a hologram. And that's going to be so much better for interaction, for engagement. So I'm really excited. I really am. Callie Mades said this: if there's not a law through legislation or Congress, compliance gives the perception that there is a law. Yeah, well, there's nothing in Congress right now talking about capital gains for NFTs, but there is broad language that may apply to it. I'm actually going to speak to a CPA who specializes in intellectual property and digital assets and speak to her, I believe, about this issue, because I think it's really important for everybody. You don't want to get in a situation where you've invested a lot of resources, you made some money, but then you get into tax problems, which I'm getting questions, I'm getting a lot of comments about this, about what are the tax implications of not only crypto, but also NFTs and other digital assets. So, yeah. So what I wanted to do is kind of talk a little bit more about these tokens and this metaverse. So let's just go to, let me show you. Remember I talked about what the token was. Now let's do it again here. Share screen. Let's put this one here. All right, so right now, again, we're looking at, let's make sure we are looking at CoinGecko, and here is the top metaverse coins by market capitalization. And like I said before, these are the coins or the tokens that are used to purchase various items, things in different crypto and blockchain universes. So right here, I'm looking at the sandbox, which is similar to Decentraland. A lot of people love it. It's kind of a game and existence, almost like SimCity in the digital landscape. We see here that it's worth $3. up 17.2%. And then we also see right here that it's a video game. They have a website. So I'm going to take you to that website right now. All right. So can we see that? We'll make sure that, yeah, there we are. Okay. So this is the Sandbox website where you can come in and register and buy land and play this game, be a digital icon in this world. It's supported by a lot of different larger companies like Atari, like Snoop Dogg, like the Smurfs, Hell's Kitchen, a whole bunch of different things. And so look at right here, it says, discover the Sandbox. The Sandbox is a virtual metaverse where players can play, build, own, and monetize their virtual experiences. They can monetize, so they can make money out of this. We empower artists, creators, and players to build the platform they always envisioned, providing the means to unleash your creativity. So it says here, create in your own land. Non-fungible tokens are virtual tokens minted on the blockchain for digital scarcity, security, and authenticity. They are unique, invisible, and non-interchangeable, allowing true digital ownership of in-game assets. And this is what we talked about before, which is you're going to be owning your own assets in this real world, but you're going to really be enthused and do collections and things in this digital world. So you can even own a digital tractor, which looks like our Lego tractor there. It says here, why sand? Sand is our main utility token. Again, we talked about cryptocurrency, but now these are the tokens that you use to buy the digital assets in the sand. That allows you to buy and sell lands and assets in the Sandbox metaverse. And then it says here, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, are virtual tokens minted on the blockchain for digital scarcity. They are unique, indivisible, and non-interchangeable, allowing true digital ownership of in-game assets. So I think what they're implying by this graphic right here is that you might be able to own the one digital dragon in the Sandbox universe. So for a lot of people, you might go, I don't really care that I own a piece of code somewhere that I don't even have access to unless I'm in this universe. But a lot of people have a lot of investment, a lot of their life in these digital worlds. And so this is very important to them. And over time, it may be to you too. So you never know. And so they tell you to join their community. And I can tell you right now that they are a huge community. It is a very popular platform, which in a lot of ways is actually better than Decentraland. I was reading another article that's saying that in Decentraland, I think it was, I want to say it's 26 acres of this digital land was sold recently to a commercial business in the neighborhood of $900,000. So listen, guys, I just want to tell you, I mean, I'm not that smart. And a lot of people who are way smarter than me are spending a lot of money in these areas. Now, you might think, oh, they have tons of money to spend. Just from my experience with people that are very wealthy, most of the time they're super purposeful. So when they're spending $900,000 to buy a bunch of land in a digital world, probably was pretty smart. So I'm not telling you to mortgage your house so you could buy digital land, but I'm saying let's follow these people and let's be open-minded to this, because this could be our future. We could be spending more time in our digital universe than we do in our real universe. So it says here, guided meditation zone, use the metaverse going to overtake the internet. Well, that's a really good question, guided meditation zone. What the metaverse is it's really Web 3.0. It's really an extension of Web 2.0. Web 2.0 was real basic. It's kind of what we're on right now. It's doing videos, it's doing audio podcasts, it's doing ads. It's not very experiential. Web 3.0 is going to be very experiential. And like I said in the beginning of the program, it's not going to depend upon our mobile devices. Right now, it's kind of the focus of our universe. But as Mark Zuckerberg said, and I can't remember another person was saying, they're so limiting to have these phones. There's got to be something else we can do in our world. And that could be devices, hardware that's installed in our homes that actually projects things. It could be having VR goggles, or they've been trying to get going, the Google Glass or the Facebook glasses, where you can actually put something over your eyes and then have augmented reality, be able to be more efficient, to do different things without the need for a phone. I mean, gosh, if the Facebook glasses were all they were supposed to be, you wouldn't need a phone. They are your phone. They're your device that you listen to music on. They're the device that you interact with people on. So it is going to replace the internet, so to speak. Although the concept of the internet, meaning access to the world of information, will still be there. It's just that this is going to be a new way to experience that information. Maybe you don't need to read it. Maybe someone can read it to you, that kind of thing. Christian Woodland was saying, I was around when the internet was just barely happening. This will definitely take off in some in the near future. Yes, I totally agree. Web 3.0 is here to stay. And that's why I really wanted to give you those 5 tips today, 5 ways to invest in the metaverse. Let's all do it together. We don't need to come up with a lot of money. What we really need to do is we need to be open-minded, and we need to go, okay, so we're in Web 2.0, so we're going to still do it. If we have a product or a service, we're still going to do Facebook ads. We're still going to do videos and things like that. But we also know that let's be open to opportunities that are out there that are the beginning. This could be the beginning of the internet. This could be the beginning of Facebook. This could be the beginning of Google. If you put money into these companies in 2000, you would be a multi-zillionaire right now. So maybe if you put some money into companies that are building Web 3.0, the metaverse, maybe if you invest some resources in learning about it so that you might be able to offer a service or a product that could be used in the metaverse, you may kill it. This is an opportunity for all of us. And I really want you guys to take that in. It's not just some goofy, digital art. People just sold, is it Human One the other day for $29 million. I mean, it is that right now, but it isn't that right now. It's still, I was doing it the other day. I was trying to buy one of the NFTs that I really wanted. It's still really difficult, right? I mean, if you're going to buy a NFT on Ethereum right now, the gas fees, the fee that it takes to pay the miners to do the verification on the blockchain is so expensive. So if you want a $90 NFT, sometimes you're going to be forced to pay $130 in Ethereum to get that $90 NFT. So it's not working just yet. We have issues with the environment. There's no question that certainly in the Bitcoin, to a certain extent, the Ethereum blockchains, there's so much computer power used to be able to keep it going that it doesn't make sense environmentally. These problems will be solved and are going away. Other tokens like Tezos and Sol, those don't use nearly the energy, actually nil energy, and have much less in gas fees than any of the other tokens. Ethereum is going to be converted over to proof of stake, we think, in January of 2022. So that's going to take away that environmental concern. So all these things are definitely in the future. They're not working perfectly right now. But my point is, that's the easy part. We will always get better. Our technology will always get better. I was listening to an interview with like 5 CEOs of big tech, and they always count on the fact that technology will always get better. They're always trying to look at what people will want at that time, what human emotions need to be transferred at that time. They're not worried about the mechanics. Their engineers will figure that out. Proof of stake will be here. Green crypto will be here. Regulation of crypto will be here. That's all going to happen. But really, what the focus should be at this point is how we can be involved in it now. And I want to encourage all of you. I'm going to do more and more content, which is encouraging this. And I think if you hear it enough, if you hear it bing, bing enough, like the stats are that if you hear something 7 times or 7 or 8 times, you'll be able to take it in much better. So I'm going to be that guy who it's going to pop up in your YouTube window saying, oh my gosh, the guy's talking about NFTs, the guy's talking about Metaverse. But eventually I think I'm going to make it through to you, and you're going to invest in some business, or you're going to start a business, a service that creates tokens, that does mining, that supports one of the larger companies, and then are able to join these communities. So that's a little bit of a rant there, but Callie Made, language and words are what leads to compliance and delusion to participate. Compartmentalization. Well, listen, let's focus on that one, Callie Made. I don't think we get around it. I think at this stage of the game, we're moving because we've already expanded the globe digitally. You and I can go to Paris right now via our laptops. So distances is not a great segregating tool these days, and us humans segregate ourselves. We compartmentalize ourselves. And I think what we're seeing now, especially with these NFTs that allow passes into various communities, is we're going to be more community-based. We're not going to be so much tied to our geographic location. We're going to be tied to our interest or our passion or our job or whatever. So I don't think we get out of compartmentalization. I think this is the kind of I don't want to use if it's pejorative. We're going to be moving into tribes. It's kind of like we're going into the past. We were tribes, then we went to Web 1.0 to 2.0, where the world was our oyster. We were amazed that we could go so many distances so quickly, and now we're moving into Web 3.0, which is compartmentalization, is fragmentation. It can be looked at as good or it can be looked at as bad. I think it's going to be good, because what I think is going to happen with these communities is these NFTs, these crypto are going to be interoperable. These tokens that exist in these communities are going to be able to be exchanged among communities, and communities are going to get along with each other. And what I really am excited for is items that you buy in one community might be able to be taken to the next community. If you love, you know, I'm just trying to think of the recent game here, Cyberpunk 2077, and you bought a car there, and then it's the you know, Cyberpunk 2087 or 2300, whatever it is, that you'll be able to bring that car into that digital world as it gets upgraded. You're going to be able to have this. So at some point, you'll be like Jay Leno. You'll have a garage full of cars that you've collected over time, that you can trade, that you can sell, that you can use for real world goods. So compartmentalization is probably going to happen. Oh, and I love this question. Holy mackerel. Alyssa, I love this one, because this is one of the things that I've been focused on recently too. And that is, what is going to happen to social media as we move into Web 3.0, the metaverse? And because I've been thinking about it, because I'm a social media lawyer. I mean, my bread and butter is talking about social media and the social media rules, where we're going from here. And so I've been thinking long and hard, like, how the heck am I going to convert my expertise into this metaverse world? And I think the answer to the question is, our social media is global now. And I think that our social media will be much more compartmental going in the future. I think people are starting to see that there isn't as much value anymore to you doing a post and it being seen by someone in Russia, let's say, who has no interest in you. The only value for a post for communication is to people who it may help, right? So I think you're going to have a better chance of communicating in a helpful way in a community that appreciates it. So social media won't go away. It will just be a situation where your post will be posted in the Discord channel with 25,000 members, and that'll be good enough. You'll get some likes, you'll get some validation. Maybe you'll help somebody, which is probably the most important part of the communication. But it will be individual fiefdoms of social media, of communication. So we may even remove the term social media. I think media was added because it was global, and it was in a time when we were talking about TV and all sorts of different kind of real 2D communication. It really is just going to be socializing. It's going to be human communications, interpersonal relationships that are digital. So I think that social media is going to flourish. It's just going to be individual. And it's not going to be limited to a various platforms. It's not going to be just you're a YouTube person or you're a Telegram person. You're going to be even more limited than that. And that's going to be, you put down $100,000 to be part of the Bored Apes Yacht Club. So your social media is going to be on that Discord server. It's going to be in a Facebook group or whatever. And that's going to be your community. When you do your post, it's going to be to them. And I think also over time, the platforms aren't going to mean as much. I mean, what's happening now with decentralization is that we don't even need Facebook, Instagram, even YouTube. All we need is to create this club on a decentralized blockchain, and then we monitor it. It reminds me of Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is old school crypto programming, but the bottom line is it exists independent of any big company or overarching authority. It actually is monitored by the users. In other words, the miners are verifying the transactions. And it's all one big community that's decentralized, that's separate. So I think that over time, and I think this is the reason why Facebook has chosen to name themselves Meta, they're going to be more of a constructor of the metaverse. as opposed to holding the metaverse, holding the social media. Go to facebook.com and look and see what's going on. No, it's just going to be logging in and going to your, whether it be through a web portal or a Discord server or an app on your phone or whatever. It's going to be going to that individual community's site. And maybe you'll belong to 5 or 10 different communities, depending upon your interest or where your kid goes to school. I mean, think about this. It's not just guys that love Fortnite. This could be a decentralized community of parents for children who go to this school. It is going to be this club. It's going to be 500 strong. And your social media, so to speak, is going to be within that. So you have your school group that's decentralized. You're going to have your hobby group. Maybe you like wine. You're going to have your wine club, your golf club, whatever that is, your work. So it is social media is not going away other than the term. I think socializing, digital socializing is going to be the big thing. Hel Rio says, I was thinking how cryptocurrencies and tokens will avoid having people changing their cryptos to dollars or euros. Because I feel like that's not adopting at all just how I feel. Well, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's true. I think over time, Hel Rio, we're going to hold more and more of our value, our digital stores digitally. And I've already heard about it now. I was speaking to a commercial real estate agent the other day, and he was saying that his recent offer on a commercial space, and this is real world, this is not a digital commercial space, was the down payment was going to be in Bitcoin and whether or not the seller would accept that. So yeah, we're going to start holding more. We're not going to want to exchange. I think that's a long way off. I think we're still at this stage now where I'm sure the governments are really trying to fight us to use their own currencies, the fiat currencies. So I don't think, I think it's going to be a 10-year process or whatever, but I do think that it's already happening. I know that I have crypto in a wallet. And, if it was big enough, I wouldn't hesitate to use that to buy a real world good. That kind of starts to blur the line between digital and real world goods. Yes, so it's going to happen. I do think that in the next 10 years or so, it's going to be, people are still going to need to transmute USD fiat currency into crypto. And so those exchanges are going to be the way they do it. So that's why I recommend it as one of the 5 ways to invest in the metaverse, is to potentially invest in the stock of publicly traded companies that are acting as the gatekeepers between fiat and cryptocurrency. So yeah, this is a good one. And for you, it says, trust the real plan of COVID-19. I won't. I agree with you. When I talked about how this happened, one of the points, the circumstances that caused this is the fact that now we're starting to value our digital lives more than we did. And this means not just the Gen Z people, but the Gen Xers and the boomers are starting to value that life. Why did that happen? Well, a lot of it was technology and the ease of use. My gosh, these laptops these days are unbelievably amazing. Right now, I'm broadcasting from a laptop that's not plugged in. The battery is so good. So ease of use was one of them. But secondarily, I won't lie to you that the pandemic caused people to be afraid and fearful and to stay in their homes as directed by the government. And so as a result, we weren't buying a boat. We weren't spending a lot of money on a plane ticket to go visit Taiwan. All right. What we were doing is we were kind of getting into this digital space, and maybe we started to play a video game, or maybe we started to have a Netflix watching club, or maybe we read digital books and we started having a book club. So for whatever reason, and you can argue that there's a plan, I wouldn't deny it, but whatever reason, we're starting to value our digital lives more, and that's what's creating this movement toward metaverse. So I agree with that. Callie Mae says, you can flip burgers or NFTs. We all have that choice. You know what? I love this Callie Mae guy. He's great. Yes, we do. And what we're starting to see, and I think you've seen it as much as I have, is because of crypto, because of this decentralized move, decentralized finance, there are people out there who are not working. Less people are working in restaurants or stores or whatever, because they are relying on their crypto investments. Another part of the pandemic was the fact that there was a mass infusion, not only to us individuals who got a stimulus check, but also to companies that got the PPP loan, a mass infusion of cash. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were saying, what do you expect when you do that? The money has got to go somewhere, and there was a hole, there was a leak, and that leak was crypto. And so a lot of that went there. And then, of course, with more and more people getting involved in the crypto market, more and more demand was created, and the value of crypto went up and up and up. And so a lot of people were like, dude, why am I going to flip burgers when I can hold Ethereum and it's going up $100 a day? So yes, flipping NFTs is a real legit job. There are people out there who do that. Flipping currency is a real job. Flipping tokens that are sitting on top of blockchains is a real business right now. I'm not recommending you do either. All I'm trying to say is let's be open, because the lines between our real world and our digital world are getting blurred. You can stay in the real world, absolutely no problem. You can move up to the forest and live out there, and I'm sure you're gonna have a much better life. But at the same time, if you want to stay in this world where, going to work and raising children and being in communities, you're going to have to open your mind to the fact that the metaverse is coming, and maybe you want to get on board so that you can really get some value financially over time. Oh, and Kristen had another good point. Gosh, dang it, you guys have great points today. I think this finally opened up an avenue for creatives, artists to actually make substantial income. And absolutely right. That's one of the points that I'm making in a future video, which is talking about the fact that, guys, you have to understand now, this isn't the vehicle for you creatives out there who have been making YouTube videos, been making TikToks, Instagram Reels, for you to really get some value out of all the time and effort you make. I mean, think about it, guys. Generally, we're putting stuff online and we're spending time on it. We're having lights, we're using cameras, the whole thing, and we're not getting paid for it. With NFTs specifically, there's other things too, but with NFTs specifically, you can put out your music as an NFT. You can control how many copies go out. You can direct where those copies go. You can direct what those copies can be used for. You can even make your music bigger. I've seen there, I think it's async art. It's an awesome exchange for music. You buy an NFT of some artist's music, and these are popular, Lady Gaga, whatever. You get not only the finished product of the artist, but you get all the stems. So you get the audio with no other music. You get drums and bass and all these things. And then sometimes you also get examples of remixed music from the same song. And what a lot of these creators allow you to do is to mix it yourself and to broadcast it. And that's their way of marketing. So let's say you really like this person's voice and you just want to use the drums and the voice. You put those two stems together. This NFT will allow you to do that, and you're allowed to publish that. There are some exchanges out there where you can actually own the different layers of the music, of the stems. So you can own, one person can, or 50 people can own the drums, and one person can own the audio, and blah, 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 blah. So you can sell individual things. So that is one way you can make money as an artist. But probably the biggest one, and the thing that makes me so happy, is the ability for you to control your creative endeavor. And that comes through commissions. OpenSea, Rarity, Super Rare, all these different platforms allow you to create a smart contract within the NFT that you mint that allows you to have a commission for future sales of your product. So, gosh, if not everybody's going to be Beeple, but if you wanted to create an album of 12 songs and you wanted to have limited release of that music, so you wanted 10,000 people to have it, or 1,000, whatever it is, that may be a strategy. Only 500 people can own this album. And then what happens is if it's successful and the people mix your music and like it and all these different things, then more and more people are going to want to own that. And if it changes hands in sales, it's not something like, okay, I'll mail you a check. I owe you 10% of that $1,000 sale. Okay, I'll send you $100 later. No, these smart contracts automatically execute. So every single time it's sold, there is an amount of, let's say it's Ethereum, that is sent to your wallet. Boom. There's nothing else. There's no debate. There's no, you should get less. There's no renegotiation. If the person who is buying that original copy of your art buys it, and subsequently sells it and someone buys it, then you're going to get a portion of those proceeds. So this is true representation of artists. And that's what's so exciting about this metaverse and crypto and NFTs and blockchain, which I love, because what it does is it kind of does a good job of balancing fair use with ownership, right? One of the problems with fair use, as we've talked about in our videos, is that you're really using someone else's creative endeavor. I mean, they spent lots of time and money on it, and you're just, hanging on to it. Now, arguably, there's ways that you can express yourself according to the First Amendment by using other people's art. So that's in the law. There's no question about it. But still, you're using other people's art. What's wonderful about this NFT situation is that the artist right up front has control of these copies of these different art pieces and will make money as they change hands. So really exciting to me as a lawyer, because I think it makes the law much clearer. We know exactly who owns it. We know exactly where it transferred. And if you guys haven't messed around with these exchanges yet, you can go to like OpenSea and you can see all the different transactions that have happened on this piece of art, whether it be music or digital art. You see it. Now, it doesn't say Ian Corzine, or maybe it does, but it says the account. And so you can kind of go back and you say, oh, it was sold in July. Okay, it was sold in August. Okay, this thing's changing hands. You can draw conclusions from what you see in the history. So it's very transparent. Yeah, I agree, Hell Rio. Atari does spend a lot of money on Sandbox. If you go to Sandbox, you see all these different Atari worlds there. It's crazy. Oh, we got a call. We got a call. I got a comment from What in the World? How can I get my music on the Metaverse? Easy. You mint it, and it takes 15 minutes. Each different exchange that you would like to list your music on, as you're doing music, right? Yeah, music. Has different procedures. As you probably know, OpenSea is the best, or I shouldn't say the best, excuse me, is the biggest. So you're going to get most attention there. The problem with OpenSea is that it uses Ethereum, and right now Ethereum is very expensive to use. So it's going to be a debate. A lot of people right now are putting stuff or minting on OpenSea, thinking that Ethereum is going to be easier to transact next year. So they're just putting it on there now because they know at some point it's going to be much easier. But there's a lot of people out there who are putting their stuff on, let's say, SolSea under the Sol token, thinking that there will be some rises not only in these different platforms, these sales platforms, but also there's going to be some more value in other cryptocurrency out there, that it's just easier, that's simpler, that's more advanced. So you're going to have to figure out, I would suggest you doing some research on the artists that you like, that you want to be like, what they're doing as far as the NFT space. Figure out where they're putting their music, and then be able to go to that various platform and just look at the instructions, the manual section, and figure out if that's where you want to be. What are the limits on smart contracts? Certain exchanges like have a 10% limit on commissions. Others don't. I've heard of other platforms that allow you to have up to 50% commission. And that's a strategy out there. You may release limited version of your music, 10 versions, 10 original copies, and then have a 50% commission. Maybe that's your strategy. So you're going to have to do that research and find out what it is. But once you actually are able to center upon what blockchain you want, what token you want to use to have people purchase your music, what platform gives you the biggest exposure, then actually going there and minting is as simple as going in the FAQs. And it's very simple. It's literally upload, and then you have a series of check boxes, blanks to fill in, and submit. I mean, it's just like uploading a YouTube video, SEO and the whole thing. So that part is simple. The harder part with getting your music out there as an NFT is marketing it. Right now, of course, as you know, NFTs are not as popular as mainstream streaming and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to have to be on Twitter. The two big platforms, if you're into NFTs right now, are Twitter and Discord. So you're going to have your own Discord server, potentially your own server related to that music you're releasing even. How you get involved in that is you go on Discord right now and you follow some of the communities, you get known, you interact with the Discord communities and get to be, people familiar with you enough that you can even say, hey, I have some music coming out. Would you like to join me over my server and check out that music? And Twitter is the same thing. Follow the Twitter accounts that you like, you respect, involve yourself in that community. Use social media to your advantage to market. Go on YouTube, make some videos about your music. The publicity is the biggest part. When you get past that publicity, though, the rewards are amazing. You might not see a sale in the first month, but over time, you can make sales of your music. And I think that since we're going to the metaverse, no matter what, you're only going to see your music be more valuable going forward. So I'll make a video about how to actually mint a song, but that's the long and short. Marketing is the most important part. We could all someday be doing live videos in a virtual world together. Absolutely. What I envision at some point, because I really value you and the contact and your comments and everything with you, is us getting together in a room virtually, not just like Zoom where we all have laptops and things, but actually just sitting down in a room and talking. That's going to be the value. We're going to be in our own little community, and maybe sometimes we're gonna meet with another community. We're going to go to Viva Fry's community and talk to those people who like the law and politics and all those things. So we're going to interact community to community. So yeah. Maria Anderson says, millionaire in 7 years. Well, you're talking about investing. Congratulations. Well, thank you, Maria. I appreciate that. And she looks like she's a big supporter of NFTs too. I'd love to talk to Maria offline. That's awesome. Let's see. Insane McLean. Insane McLean's here. He's insane in the brain. Let's see. Don't. Did you know El Salvador wants to make Bitcoin the main source of income instead of cash? Yes, and they are in the process of doing that. I think they just bought 38 more Bitcoin. And I think they're doing it partly as a marketing ploy. I mean, I don't know that Bitcoin is the future of cryptocurrency. I don't know. A lot of people think it is. But it is hard to use right now. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I mean, just take it to, if a country is saying we would like to adopt a decentralized currency as our main currency, there's a lot of people who are way smarter than us. So they're making that decision. And Christian Woodland says, I love this discussion. Pioneering area has always been my thing. Well, Kristen, I'm so glad you're here because I love this discussion too. I could speak all day long. We got Jade Osa Nija. Hello, I wonder if there is a more effective way to reach you. I have been trying to reach you for some time over a false copyright issue. I've left comments on some of your videos, but no reply. Thanks. Well, Jade, first of all, let me offer my apologies. I can't believe that I haven't seen that. I will, if you can send me a DM on Twitter, I would like to respond to that. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. But sorry for missing your emails. Oh, we got one person. Love from India, Mukul Sapra. Well, thank you so much today. Well, guys, I really wanted to talk to you about those 5 ways to invest in your future, in the future of Metaverse, whether it be getting involved in NFTs, whether it be buying NFTs or researching them, whether it be understanding that there are tokens that you use to buy NFTs. And sometimes if you invest in those tokens, you're going to make money. Understanding that within these blockchains, there is a currency like Ethereum. And you can be investing in this Ethereum, seeing that, boy, there's going to be a day when Ethereum is going to be much more cheap to transact. It's going to cause less environmental damage. And as a result, boy, maybe I should be creating Ethereum NFTs. Maybe I should be investing in Ethereum. And then finally, thinking about the fact that you may want to invest in companies that are investing in the metaverse. I'm not saying necessarily it's Facebook, although they are one of the companies that's doing that. Be looking out there for the future because the metaverse is our future. And I want you to be part of that future. I don't want you to ever be left behind. I want you to be able to make lots of money and be enjoyable, have all these awesome communities to follow. So I'm going to give you more and more information that I uncover, and together we can move into the metaverse. I'll see you next week.